Yeah, totally. And I'm off screen real quick. Give me a split second while I I'm totally there. You just can't see me. I'm invisible. It happens sometimes. You can't blame this on me. Actually, I am not. Wait, what? Oh. Wait. Ah! We fixed it. I fixed it. Hello. Look, if I don't fail a little bit, you're going to start expecting too much from me. And honestly, I'm not sure if I want that. I don't want you expecting too much from me. If you expect too much from me, then what am I going to do? Huh? What do you think I'm going to do? Workout is good for you. Refused. Lied. Not true. Prove it to me right now. I'm getting head pat. One sec. Except I expect at least a stream from you. Is that too much? Honestly, sometimes it is too much. It can be hard to stream sometimes. What if I decide I'm never going to stream again, huh? Maybe I'll stop right now. Chat, this is my last stream. Congrats, everybody. I'll see y'all later. Bye. But why not? Please? Fine, I'm back. I guess I'll stream some more. Jeez. Vanya's sad, and I can't make Vanya sad. It's illegal. It's a crime. Okay, let's see. What do we have? That's 11 hours ago. Where's the current one? Oh, we had a bunch of follows. Look at all those people. Hello, new people. Well, you know what we do? Can you snitch? Can you snitch on what, Vanya? Can we snitch on what? 2 people subbed? Off stream or on stream? Because, I mean, I'm going to get there. Oh, who subbed off stream? Yeah, snitch. Snitch on them. Can I say what? Do your workout, you unbaked potato. There you go. Oh. Well, hello, Cotton Candy. Welcome. Hey! Thank you, Tasha. Greatly appreciated. Okay, so we're going to do the start of what we do at every stream. I'm going to be reading off the people who got first, second, and third, and I'm going to be saying hello to everyone who checked in. So if you haven't checked in yet and you want to check in, go ahead and check in so I know to say hi to you, okay? This might take a little while, though. I don't know how many people are here today. You ready? All right, here we go. So, first, Silver Vang, thank you for getting third. Carmia, thank you for getting first. Lunar Rain, thank you for getting second. And here we go with all the hellos. Also, by the way, y'all suck at counting. Just letting you know, you suck at counting. Genuinely, thank you, though. All right. Hello, Lunar Rain. Hello, Kitty Lover and Galactic. Hello, Sleepy Sunny Puppy. Your name's always so cute. Hello, Pink. Good to see you. Hello, Dumpster Trash Fox. Hello, Sedex. Hello, Meow Kitty Cat. Hello, Brisk Dear. Hello, Siren. Hello, Butter Tub. Hello, Seven Kai. Hello, Discorded Fox. Hello, Pandragon. Hello, Uno Potato. And Neela and Kiana Yoda. Hello, Unstable Raccoon and Darling Yoko and Gangsta Neeks. Hello, Ghostly Nightlight. Hello, Ocean and Tequila and Silver Vang. Hello, Lachlan and Tasha and Eli and Julia. Hello, Crucine, Full Metal and Carmia. Hello, Pebbles and Useless Huntress and Princess Kai VT. Hello, Princess. Hello, Galaxy. And Sinful Microwave and PBJ. Hello, Red Moon. Hello, Sky the Walrus. Hello, Little Mouse. Hello, Kira. Hello, Spider. Hello, 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 Cat. And hello, Infernal. I mean, Echo. Hello, Juno and Vanya. Hello, Nuggets. Hello, Cotton Candy. Hello, Jade with Ani. Hello, Ray. Hello, Calinthia. Hello, Pendragon. Hello, Tired Nap Time. Hello, Shen Huli. Hello, Sunny the Sunshine. Hello, Elliptical Panda. Hello, Nixtama. Hello, TDW Delta. Hello, MA23, which I think is Mary with 23 in the middle. Hello, Black Silver. Hello, Tabby Maru. And hello, Poison. Oh, and hello, Highland Moo Moo. There we go. We have everyone. How is, we're not sacrificing anybody. Yay, dad joke of the day. What's the dad joke of the day? What's the dad joke of the day? I wasn't looking at chat. What did I miss? How did you not stutter? Hello, Sindere. Because why would I snuck in right at the end? You did. You did. You love the Highlands, as do I. Bye-bye. Good luck. I said you need your knees. I do need my knees. But the Magic 8-Ball said that to get into heaven, we have to sacrifice Neeks. You're not going to heaven. You're not going to heaven. Who here is going to heaven? Y'all have done something that the Bible disagrees with. I mean, hello, Humane. I don't know his name. I'm such a good doggy. There you go. You happy? One day I'll get rid of that one. Party in hell. Roof. I don't think that's how it works. Neeks is not the equivalent of all your sins. Neeks is not a Jesus. Even if we die, we'll probably stick around as ghosts in Gene's basement. Exactly. That's why my basement doors are made of iron. Hell is a swear word, according to my parents, grandmother, and school. So yes, y'all will be stuck forever. That's the goal. You can't sacrifice me. You can try, but you'll never find me. I'm invisible. Except, like, right now. I love how you're always the very first stream on my Twitch homepage. Twitch knows. Exactly. That's what I should be. I should be on your homepage. I should be the only thing on your homepage, in fact. Like, I should be the number... There should be just 5 pages of just me, okay? Okay, there's going to be 5 pages of just me there. Oh. Did I not let you out yesterday? Oh. How you have I didn't unlock the cage, did I? Did any of you, none of you needed to use the bathroom or anything, right? Like, y'all are fine? You all look... Oh. Well, I'm new here and I'm sorry if this question has been asked, but do you have a Discord server? I do. It is an 18+ Discord server. Exclamation point, Discord. We're starving and someone had an accident in here. Thank you for the hydrate. Cheers. Exactly. Do you know what's cool? People are starting to make videos of me. Do you know how cool that is? It's so awesome. I have been... Actually, let me shrink down a little bit. Here, I'll get rid of the gate. Okay, so... I've been on TikTok, and like somebody did a response video, which I already talked about. Somebody else talked about me as their Oshi. Somebody else talked about, I'm like, I'm so cool. I need more videos of me. I want to see other people talking about me, being like, oh my God, this Gene, he smells bad. Go poop and pee and do whatever you need to go. Hello, Amber. Hello, and welcome. No, I have not showered since I got off of work. I do smell bad. That is not me talking negative about myself. I currently wish I could go take a shower right now because I had to do stuff, and guess what? I had to do more work stuff. So yes, this is my first impression of you. It only gets worse from here. I guarantee it will not head up from this point. Maybe one day, but right now, go follow Pink. Control Pink. They've made a lot of my emotes. Go check them out. Okay, want something in the soccer brewery corner? Oh, fine. Pink, just for you, I'll say this. I'm a stinky dog. Happy? I'm such a good doggy. Well, maybe we could do a Gene Core video. I would love a Gene Core video. You know how cool a Gene Core video would be? And you could just grab clips from the Discord. Like, I'd be so cool. I made my own one. I made a Gene Core video. Hello, welcome, Red. I made my own Gene Core video, and it did awful. It bombed. I am so sad. It was like, I'm going to do this video. I'm going to put so much work into it. Do you know how much time it takes to do those? We have to go through all the clips, find the best bits, cut them down to the nice little sections. It just takes so much effort. Unlike me just going, hi, I'm Gene. I stream. Come follow me. And then subtitling it. So easy. So easy. It's true. It's true. Anyways, for those of you who have not seen it, I was in a trailer for a game, music for a game. It's very, 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 very cool. If you want to go see that, it's on Twitter and in the Discord. And yeah. It is. It is. It is. What game is it? It's the music track for Darkenstein. It's a fun game. I guess I can. Y'all, how many people want to hear the voice actor demo reel? I can get the voice actor demo reel up while I get the game going. Y'all wanna see it? The demo reel? For those of you who haven't seen it yet? Fine. Here's the demo reel. I don't think I'm gonna make it. My legs hurt. Even my brain hurts.
Reversing the polarity will cause a cataclysmic reaction of... turn the dials right. Make device go boom.
I thought I'd left you dead in the desert. I mean, haunted by ghosts, ain't I? I guess I deserve it.
Good evening, fellow Mad Cats. DJ Fang is ready to spin more records. Coming up next, 12 commercials back to back. My favorite.
You made it. I didn't think you'd come. No one else has. Still, you seriously made my day. We are not taking any more party members. Wait, are you wearing a dead possum as a scarf?
Nah, she ain't dead. She's just scared. The poor sweetie pie.
Please, take a seat. Right here, by my side.
Where you can't get away so easily.
I am Nerd. Hear me roar. I can't really roar that well, but I'm trying, okay?
Well, that's what the last guy thought. And you don't want to know what happened to him.
Do not be blinded by fear, my child. Embrace it. Welcome it. Let it pass. Remember, only you shall remain in the end.
Sorry, I have not collabed with Tabby before, but also welcome to the menagerie. Y'all don't need to tell me. Immediately, every single person just, you're muted. Vanya's I always see immediately, but I mean, we only need like, yes. You were talking to nobody. I mean, you would be surprised. When I started streaming, it was exclusively talking to nobody. Y'all know, like, that's how all streamers start, right? Is when I started stream, it was me playing Subnautica, crawling through nothingness and water, and I had trolls come into stream. I had people come in being like, oh, you should thank you for the hydrate. You should go into the middle of nowhere and drown and die. Yeah, but, you know, it is. Oh, I used to have trolls. I used to have hardcore trolls. And some of them became friends later on because they're like, oh, but I actually like your personality. Did you see us crash out on TikTok about us streaming? Yeah, some people didn't know I stream, which is crazy. Yeah, I mean, some people do horrible things. Some people, especially like just because I'm a VTuber playing a certain game, some people just hated the fact that I was a VTuber. But luckily, eventually you get VTuber fans and you get cool people like y'all, and then we're here. I mean, like, look at this. Look at us. Y'all are amazing. But yes. I've never ever told you. You haven't really, Cruzy. No, not to that extent. You've goofed around, and plenty of people bully me, but that's totally different. You can tease me, you can poke me, you can prod me, but you cannot. I don't know. Can't make me do something. Anyways, give me a second while I turn on TTS, because I know somebody's wanting it so badly. I was like, where's the TTS? And then they're going to complain about it. And then they're going to throw me into a cauldron, and they're going to set me on fire and consume my flesh, and I will die. So before I die, I am going to turn on the voice redeems, as well as... hey, chat, heads or tails? My lovely little voidlings, heads or tails? Alexa, flip a coin.
Okay. Heads.
Vanya, yes or no? Okay. Anyways. Vanya was the first person to get it right. That's why. Okay, cool. Anyways, we're going to be playing some Dispatch. So we'll see how that goes. Bonk Redeem is rarely active. Only when I feel like it. Because it's annoying to me. Oh, you'll see. Somebody will notice. Somebody will notice. One day I'll get the sound effect fixed and you'll see why it's annoying to me.
Bites ankles aggressively for my love, Ray.
All right, so apparently we're going to be doing this voice for a little bit, and oh, I'm such a good doggy. I hate this voice, but we put it at random chance, so I can't. Oh no, why are you making me? Okay, can I let's see if I can. All right, so can I do this? There it is. There it is. There's that silly little voice mixed with the other one. As best I can do it, and we have 2 minutes. Oh no, he's heard it. He's coming after you right now, Jinx. They're coming for you. Jean, dear Jean, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. The world may never know. All right. And that's as much of the whiny voices you're getting. That's as much of the whiny voices you're getting. I gave it all to you for a little while. Y'all haven't earned it back yet, so I ain't keeping it. I ain't keeping it. Now, where were we? We ready for game? Everybody good? Can people hear the game all right? Or is it... I mean, not much is happening right now, but it should be okay. Can I come back to the basement? You may. You may. No, it's gone. Y'all never want it. Here we go. You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh.
I'm sorry, my poor boy.
Yeah.
That's it. There's my boy. There's my good boy. Who's a good boy? Be fair.
I, Christopher Walken, endorse sacrificing the...
Refused. Thank you for the biddies! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Is there a mic on this?
Here we go.
Hey.
Here we go.
Hey,
You
can
ready?
you hear me? The fuck are you doing?
Oh, not much. Just looking for your stupid-ass pulse that's somewhere on this big-ass boat. Someone must have dropped their pin in the supervillain group chat, because this place is crawling with dipshits. Good news is, they don't know where it is either.
1 second. Welcome, Short Prince. Hope you enjoy your time here. Dispatch! Also, if we finish Dispatch, we're probably going to finish off with some, Oh, Short Prince says, hello. If we do finish this, we will be going to, whatchamacallit. The game is called Lamb, yeah?
You know who's not good, beefy boy? You know who's a real...
Nah, how it works, Silverfang.
Look, you're disappointed, I'm disappointed. I'm sure Chase will have some shit to talk, but I'm here, and this.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
You gotta gamble for it. You gotta gamble for it.
I can trace the energy signal. Check the manifest.
Something would be great. Yeah, let's start with something.
All right, here we go. Let's do it. Activate. Do. Yeah. Oh, I hate this one. Okay, how are we gonna do this? Up, right. All right, up, right. Chat, I need that down. Up, right. Remember that one.
Shit, need the password.
Up, right. Never mind, we got it. All right, we're really close. Vanya immediately giving me the opposite. How dare you?
Huge energy reading coming from the.
And we can drop the normal voice. There we go. Thank you for all the check-ins, by the way, y'all. And thank you, Jade, genuinely. I really appreciate it. Y'all are so amazing.
Look, I didn't want you to do any of this.
I get it.
Bye, Cinder. Be good. Thank you for coming by, and sleep well. Whipper snipper.
They're on to me.
Oh, hey, there's a door.
You want I hyperfixate on
It's locked.
content creation. That's literally it. This is the only thing I enjoy doing from making TikToks. I've been thinking about how to make a TikTok today, by the way, because I have, you know how like all my stuff is 2D, right? I'm trying to think of how to do a 3D like kind of effect, and I kind of got it on that, you know, we did the one. Okay, sorry. I did the one TikTok where you all run away from me, right? And you get lost in the woods. Left, up, right. Left, up, right. Left, up, right. Anyways, and I kind of had that whole falling effect, you know, where people like looked up and they fell down. And I thought that was sick. I mean, did it look convincing? Where you trip and fall on your back. Like, did you get the impression that you fell on the back? Yeah? Quit your job.
This fucking guy.
Perfect. That was the intent. So I think I can do a similar thing by doing like high speed
Better be a good one.
while like blacking out certain spots so it makes it look like somebody's blinking. So that I can add more 3D aspects into some of my scenes. We'll see how it goes though.
Work faster.
Alright, so I've just been thinking about that. Right, up. Need a heater? No. Actually, what we're gonna have next. Oh, enjoy working on art, Vanya. Mwah.
Is that what
But so yeah, I'm gonna do a one that's recently where I try to ransom y'all off, and then nobody will buy you. But it's also gonna have y'all doing a little drawing on a piece of paper, filling in a coloring book. And I think it's gonna be fun. You're on TikTok? Nice. Oh, you're right. I need to put a heater in. You're prostless?
Why does the crane have the hardest controls?
Wait. Okay, so that's a mystery. Give me oh!
Through. Fuck me, they're minding me.
Right. Okay, left, right. No! Ah, come on! Hey, one second. Left, right. Okay, left, right. Come on up, baby girl. There we go. Do I have permission to pick up guitar on the next snack run? Of course you can. You can most definitely. Thank you for the lark. Thank you. I don't know about your rabbit son. Why is your rabbit son licking your shoes? Is that a normal thing that happens?
Captain's quarters should be right in front of you.
And a trombone? Do you play trombone? That's kind of sick, actually.
Pompeii on your ass.
Full Pompeii on my ass? What kind of threat is that? You gonna give me diarrhea?
Wait, no. That was predictable.
Easy. Oh, maybe not. You did? Sick. You know what? Voidlings, you're starting a band. I want you all to start a band. That way I can experience you performing it, okay? Hello, welcome, new here. Hello, Fern. How are you doing? If you guys could play violin and trombone.
I'd say this was excessive,
Perfect.
but
Amazing. I will also sing.
You're almost through the door.
Oh, Jeebus. Oh! What the heck? Okay, give me a second. Y'all, I got a hardcore focus. I do apologize about this. Yeah. Ooh, boy, baby, 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 baby.
all right, shit. There's no more.
Okay. Ooh. Ooh, we're locked in right now. New idea, locked in emote.
Still got it.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh. Terrifying.
You know what? I guess it does. Okay.
I'm so proud of all of you for being there with me. We made it. Oh no.
Holy shit, are they? Robert.
Hey, thank you for the follow, Fern. Welcome to the menagerie. You're now a voidling.
I see you. You're
I
good.
guess,
Just
wait a second.
take one
Are
step
only
at a time.
subs voidling, or do you think everybody's a voidling? What do you prefer, y'all? Everybody be a voidling? Me personally. I think I like everybody being a voidling. Followers? Yep, everyone's a voidling.
Stop.
Thank you for the lurk. Yeah. We don't need any exclusivity. Subscribers will level up, though, by the way. Modeling? Are you modelings now? Valid, valid.
Hey, Vizzy, he's just gonna keep fucking with you, but you don't give up, okay?
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Vizzy, you gotta fight. Please.
Modeling is cute.
Vizzy, hey, listen to me. You get up. Get up!
Voidlings always stay voidlings, but they do What? No! Oh, no, 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 no. What the flip?
Okay, yeah, you're good.
What the heck? No! No, 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 hey, hey, what? No.
Where's my fucking keys?
Hey, wake up. No. No, don't fucking do this, please. Please, Chase. Please.
Huh? I don't even want to see the stat screen, honestly. I don't really care that... Yeah, y'all okay? Y'all alright? I'm... Oh... Oh... Yeah... No... Yeah, I'll give everybody hugs. I don't, uh-huh. Oh. That's crazy. I can't believe. Man sacrificed himself. Poor man. God, I kind of wonder, does his heart just stop, or... Yeah. We gotta keep going. We gotta keep going. We gotta keep going.
Fuck off. No, you're not. I cry all the time.
Yeah.
Really? When?
When I was your age, I cried for weeks when the Raiders left LA.
Yeah, that's totally the fucking same as my dad never being home.
Whoa, motherfucker.
It's Chase!
And it was the same.
Whoa, mother effer. Language.
It sucked, but I just like being there with them. So, yeah, when they moved, I was crying like a little bitch, too.
Are you saying I'm crying?
1 second. Having a little bit of a frame drop issue here. What's happening here? Why are you installing right now? Why are you installing right now? Honey Bunch, you don't need to be installing. Stop installing. All right, let's see how long this is going to take if I run this install. Give me a second. I might let this thing finish installing so that we're good. Oh, is that why am I have no hard drive space all of a sudden? Ah. All right, give me a few seconds here, y'all. We're gonna go to a quick little break while I fix some stuff, and then we're good to go. Okay? I'm gonna put the game on. Oh, sorry. This is Magical Prince John John. If you haven't checked out Magical Prince John John yet, go check them out. They're amazing. They're a fantastic creator. They're going to be doing the collab with us coming up soon. Soon, like December 4th. Check them out. Can we get a shout out from Magical Prince John John, please? Appreciate it. All right, thank you, lovely. Sorry, apparently, what? No, y'all did good. Y'all won. What are you saying no for? Do you want to play the game more than you want to watch my stream? Is that what it is? How dare you? I'm just saying, like, we're waiting about 2 minutes while I wait for this stupid thing to update because apparently, Marvel Rivals, which I don't ever play, I only install to play with a few friends, is updating and forcing an install on me, even though, you know, normally games won't install when you're running something else through Steam, but they're like, no, we're gonna install Marvel Rivals anyways, because clearly it's the most important thing. So, yeah, we're at 3 minutes left. Come on! 3 minutes left until it's done. But yes. Damn, there no bunk. I guess I can't say hi. Yeah, I don't always have the bunk. Hello, Z-Maker. And hello, Wolfie. Welcome. But yes, we're almost there. We're so close. Thank you for that, Bance. We're so close to this game finishing its stupid install so that I can actually play games. And apparently it took up so much space, thank you for the hydrate, on my computer. Yeah. And apparently it takes up so much space on my computer that I have like 16 gigs left on my primary hard drive. So I was also uninstalling games in the background there. That was fun. There's so many games I uninstalled that I played like maybe once, or I beat in like one stream, and they've just been sitting on my hard drive. Risen with our vocabulary. All right, bet. I'm ready. I have 16 gigabytes left on one hard drive, yes. But now it should be better. It should be at something lovely, like 329 gigabytes free. That's right. While I was sitting here, I uninstalled 200 gigabytes. My vocab is too small to raise. Addy admitting they dumb. You heard it here, chat. Remember, though, you don't have to be smart to raise. You just have to be cool, like me. Here's what I do. I look at a girl and I go, hey, yo, how you doing? And then I cry. So, you know, it works for me every time. You'd run away? I would also run away. I'm currently running away from the situation. Anyway, so game's up. Let's see if the install's finished. Well, you brought this voice back, did you? Did you, Tubbs? This is what you wanted to experience here for the next however long time. I mean, this is what you get. Are you ready, Chubbs? Here it is. Tub, are you a parking ticket? Because you have fine written all over you. It's true. It's true. You got fine written all over you. Are you a snack? 'Cause damn, you looking tasty. This is new. It's not new. That's what you get. That is what you get. Ayo, just remember to riz responsibly. Riz responsibly. That's a good one. I like that one. All right, we have 12 seconds left. We have 12. And you're not out. You're stuck in the cage with me forever. You'll never leave. You see, you're stuck down here. You think I'm trapped in here with you? No, you're trapped in here with me. You'll never escape, and I get to try all my lines on you while you're in the cage. It's fine. I can leave. I have free will. No, you're in a cage. I'm not in the cage. You're in a cage. Well, okay, wait. No, I guess the way I said it doesn't mean that I'm in the cage. Are you going to info dump about Deltarune? Okay, so, you see, in Deltarune, there's this guy, and he's driving in a car. It's right after a beer, too. And he sees the guy, and he's like, oh, look, it's a bump that's shaped like a deer. And so he drives on that bump with his car, while being drunk, by the way. He hits him. And that's all I know about Deltarune, honestly. Anyways, the game's back. So how long do we have until the voice is over? Can I be done? Yes. No. Why would you do this to me? Where is it? I don't even know where the cage is anymore. Give me a second. Oh. It's ibuprofen now. It's ibuprofen now. Where is it? I lost the ibuprofen. How am I going to explain this to anybody who comes by? Huh? How am I going to explain this to anybody if they come by stream? So you're playing this game, you got so sad they locked you in a cage of emotion? Huh? Is that what happened? Yeah. All right, there you go. There's the cage. 5 minutes. All right. Nobody's watching? There's nobody here? Chat, is there nobody here? Hello? 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 Chat, Dave, is there nobody's watching me? I'm all alone. Nobody here beside me. Ba-da-da-da-da. Guys, it's like I can almost hear his voice. Hello? Can I come out now, please? What are we talking? I didn't. You didn't know I streamed? Good. I didn't know I streamed either. Soundproof cage. Wait, it's an open bar. What do you mean? How could this be soundproof? I'm the boogeyman under your bed, stealing your fridge. This is illusion, magic, soundproofing. Oh, got it. All alone again. Boop, 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 boo, boo, boo. Ba, 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 da. It's fine, Amber. You can be tweaking. Hey, chat, though. I met a genie last night, and I went up to him and he said, hey, you get one wish. I'm like, great. I want to replace the word gooning with profen. And the genie goes, okay, done. And I held up this box of medicine to him, and I go, can you read this? And he looked at the box of medicine, and he reads it and says, ibuprofen. So I laughed at him. Because he be profen all night, chat. Anyways.
Yes.
You saw me on TikTok? I'm glad you saw me on TikTok, Fox Time. I also saw me on TikTok. But hello.
Give me 100 and I gotta break the shit anyway.
Pays you?
To be around your crying bitch ass? Fuck yeah, he pays me.
There's an old lady. Hello, old lady. I mean, what?
Just make it less than $20. I'm not trying to go broke every time you get lonely.
Twinkies.
I get a Twinkie?
Hey, cause you're crying, you can have two.
Hey!
They come in 2 packs.
Thank you for the follow.
Oh,
Welcome.
I was joking. Keep up.
He aged. He aged right there. He aged.
There, bitch. You happy now?
Whoa.
Yeah, whoa. Now you can be sad like 8 more times before mine.
Call him a dog or a puppy, don't you dare.
I didn't realize you two were that close.
What do you mean, the femboy box? Wait, is he alive? Oh, he's alive. Oh.
He was like a big brother to me. I didn't appreciate it enough.
I'm sorry.
Send him to Tabby Cat.
Nights when Dad had to do something big. Working late.
Technically a dog.
It was fine being alone, but
Roof.
to Had him watch me because I could guilt trip him into tying me shut. He never said no. I made him.
No, it was so sad. Sniffles, not.
So
Thank you for the tea, please.
for bitch ass Robert, and he wouldn't be stuck in here. That's what you're saying.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I mean, it was, but now that you put it like that.
Hey, the only person that put Chase here,
Was Chase.
pending the investigation, Invisigal suspended, obviously, but I think you should consider cutting her from the team.
No.
I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying you should consider it.
Can
I'll
I
get back to you.
to you? I really want to think about it right now.
Alexa, how much time left on timer?
Yeah. It's just... There are no timers set. I can't.
I forgot to set a timer.
I've already cut a hero for far less.
It's been 5 minutes. Haha. Actually, we need at least 1 more minute because it took me a while to get it on.
Just gets better and
It was redeemed. No context November. You're right. It's no context November.
whatever I want.
I love vending machines. I don't know. Okay. No. I need to talk about this. This is important. Vending machines are so cool. I love vending machines. I love going to vending machines and grabbing random snacks. And all the vending machines that have like weird food in it are the best. Vending machine food is so cool. Okay? I love vending machines.
You told me that.
I want more vending machines. I want to go to Japan to see all the vending machines. I love them. My favorite ones are the ones at the slidey ones, the slidey doors, where you like they spin in a circle and then you pick up the food. It's the best. Sorry. Oh, the lamps are so cool. Lamps are so cool. Love lamps. And there you go. Pizza flavored chips. Ooh. I'm the best little puppy. There you go. Vending machines are cool. Look. Come on. Waterboy. Kiss him. I'm sorry.
Okay,
He had to microwave it.
I'm just mad.
The never straight. John, I was gonna say the same thing. The never straight dollar, just like me.
I can't. It's not fair.
Oh.
Invisigal was the one who, and then Chase should have. Do you think he did the right thing? I mean, I don't. It seems very not clear. Or unclear.
I don't know.
You know, Waterboy, I wish I had an answer for you. I just, in this case, I really don't know.
I will heal you, Moon Moon. Are you ready? Yeah. All right, chat, you ready? Magic healing hands.
Case in point.
Yes, yes, yes! Crash the fuck out, Waterboy!
Feel
Kinda. I'll clean it up.
Sorry. Forget. I've always wanted to do that.
You've all probably heard some version of what happened.
Oh.
Let's get to it. Main takeaways are that Invisigal has been suspended, so we're a person down the shift, and that Chase is in the infirmary. And he's in pretty rough shape. Despite his disposition, he really likes you all. Just don't tell him I told you that. I've found doing something good.
I have butter. I have.
Feeling bad. We're fortunate to have that opportunity. Something Chase never took for granted. So, let's get to work.
Meanwhile, Waterboy's also suspended. Okay, here we go. It's time. You ready, sweeties? You ready? We got this. You and me, baby. Ain't nothing but animals, so let's kill people. Okay, so charisma, intellect, perfect. We're gonna pop up a charisma a little bit. Throw in a little bit more intellect. Confirm. Flambe, you're solid. You. Apparently I always need a little bit more charisma. But let's throw you into... Yeah, we'll do charisma. You are too combat focused already. You are an amazing all-around person, but also suck so much. You're too well-rounded. At least you have all the vigor. And let's see if we can throw... I don't know. I want to keep him dumb just in case we need somebody dumb. And I don't know what to give him. I don't know what to give him. I guess we'll give him a little combat. No combat for you. You can gain a tiny bit of Riz. Acquire some Riz, my guy, or intellect. Intellect. We're gonna make him smarter. Absolute nerd. Goal is to be the smartest nerd. Okay. Back to oh shoot. Here we go. I'm gonna be focusing a little bit, but let's talk more about vending machines.
Could really use some help getting them back in the ocean.
You're kidding. What? Okay. Fast. Let's do... There we go. Anyways, okay, we're going to talk about vending machines, lovelies. Have you seen No One's Talking? Because they said, I know, right? This is too quiet. It is too, like...
For reinforcement, the damage to the resort is not as bad as it could have been.
It's just too much. Okay, identify the structural integrity issue. I love this man so much, but I... Okay, evacuate. Evacuate's got to be speed, right?
Sure, yeah.
There we go.
Upchuck's rugby team lost, and he's throwing a very toxic...
Okay. Vending machines. Vending machines are cool. I like vending machines. I want to use one of those car vending machines. I think it'd be just really cool. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. I think using one of those car vending machines would be really cool.
Somebody's got it.
Huh? Why won't you go? Okay. Weird.
Oh, shite. I know this guy. He used to have more hair.
Is there wait, there's an isekai you require... Okay, Silverfang, I need to know. No, who said that? Gibbets! Tell me about it. Gibbets, I need to know. Bottom bunk, yeah, totally bottom bunk. Mm-hmm. Tell me what it's about. Is he just a vending machine? Isekai, yeah. There's nothing I can do here. Oh. And how does that even work? Vending machine to another world? Oh, I would love that. I love the in another world things. There's one that I loved watching for the longest time. Left, right, left, right, right, left. Where, it was this diner. Like a Western style diner. And they would make food for like fantasy creatures, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Because I mean, half it was just about, you know, the food they're making, but it was also about like the relationships people had and like how things are being solved through food. And I don't know, food is super big to me. Like if one day I do like a fundraiser for somebody who's not me, it's probably gonna be something food related. Like, you know, for like do a thing for the hungry or something. Endure is probably the best we can. Knock him out with a chair.
Right.
I know this guy.
Don't mention that part, but can you go talk to him?
Yeah, happy to. What if you ever got around to adopting that dog?
Excited for food? I just love food. Person reconnaissance vending machine wanders the dungeon. I've not read it, but it made me pause. It does seem stupid. It does seem very stupid. A lot of them are just like so crazy and wacky. Let's see what they got. Ooh, that's rough. Hall. Okay, we gotta remember the Hall is the hearts. It's also an anime on Crunchyroll. Wait, it got to Crunchyroll? Really? Yeah, Flambe is lovely. Oh, okay. I thought we were the small space. Amazing.
Golem?
Why? Oh no.
Golem's shit face. I think he's about to piss mud on the high school.
Yeah, you know, I saw him pulling over a beer truck earlier. I did think that was weird.
Come on, buddy. Spit it out.
A lot of vomiting this shift.
Golem, I get it. I want to get shit-faced right now more than anything, but we got a job to do, and I need all
Hello,
of you to just hang in
Boku.
there until the
Boku,
end
I
of the
need your
shift.
help. You are my dedicated service animal, right? Help me focus. My brain is all over the place, Boku. Give me an idea right now. How am I gonna focus? Teach me, Boku. Save Golem from himself, carry him back to safety, calm the angry citizens. Okay. Of course, we're gonna take Prism, and we're gonna take somebody strong. What if we mix this up? Yeah, it should be perfect. Do you like meth? I'm bisexual or pansexual, so no. I'm legally not allowed to like meth, but we can try. Let's go for it. Give me some meth.
Bugs. Apparently they have beef with one of our farmers using pesticides. It's getting real biblical down here.
Well, how does what work? Being bisexual? So you see, you like men and women and any gender, so you know.
I haven't seen it come down this bad in a while.
I like it. Feels right. For
Do I? Okay, this is gonna sound weird. I need to bring this up out of nowhere. Come on. Yay! Okay. Lovelies. How many people thought I was gay? This is important to me. How many people thought I was gay? What? How many people still think I'm gay? Really? Bisexuals, there's either the bisexuals who can spell or the bisexuals who can do math. You can't do both.
Listen,
It's the thing.
He sucks, but he writes my checks. Can you please just rescue him?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've said, like, I would bang a man, so yeah. Vanya, did you think I was gay? Did anybody think I was straight? Did anybody think I was straight? Come on. Somebody had to have thought something. No. What?
Just calling to confirm one of your Z team heroes
Spooky
were
did.
here
Okay.
this afternoon to discuss the Phoenix program.
Oh, we need somebody high in charisma. Girly Pop. Reassure the public that you're good. Participate in the interview and for me. Ooh, Girly Pop. I'm putting this all on you. I wish for you.
Hello. Is this thing working?
Oh shit. Sorry.
Name one straight VTuber. A raging gay man. You know, I've dated mostly women, right?
If I miss that flight, I'm fucking toast.
I've dated almost like majority of women. Oh, going into lore about pansexual. Okay, so here's the thing: pansexual and bisexuality is literally both are the same thing. And here's why they're the same thing: because they're not the same thing. So back in the early 90s, the queer population in California was kind of experimenting more with terminology of things. And so one of the thoughts was that bisexuality is always going to have a gender connotation because it refers to bi, so two genders. So in an attempt to remove a gender bias from the word bisexual, instead they adopted the term pansexual, pan meaning everyone. And so the focus is instead on that you're attracted to everything instead of bisexuality, which inherently brings up gender, right? So pansexuality was supposed to replace bisexuality. The problem is that bisexuality exists across the world, and there's other nations and other places. So it wasn't universally adopted, and so bisexuality and pansexuality both exist, while they can be used interchangeable or they are different to people. Yes. So yeah. It doesn't really matter. And people have now changed it into whatever they did. Omni is more of a modern term. Omni is more of a modern term, which again is then an extension of pansexuality. But that came more along with the Tumblr era. And a lot of these sexualities have more of come more recently. Demisexual does have more history than a lot of other ones. Pansexual is the one, the bigger one that has more critical acclaim. But yeah, and honestly, you know what? It doesn't matter. You know what your sexuality means to you. Unless you're that needing to know what everybody else is attracted to, say whatever you're attracted to. It doesn't matter. I could call it hibbida dibbida do sexuality. And if that means that I exclusively like men, then that's what it means. So it really doesn't matter. Oh, I don't know a straight VTuber. I mean, I do technically, but yeah. Golem expands to fill each empty slot, increasing his stats by 25 per slot. Ooh, wait, what? That's amazing. Okay, yeah, I'll take that. I did. Sorry, I'm too used to being around horses. That was a trait I picked up just dealing with horses.
Looks like they're hitting the port next.
Okay, what angle should we use? Focus on facts. Ooh, this is hard. Ooh, so close. She just wasn't.
Okay. Listen, we need to play it safe. I don't want anyone else getting hurt.
I am a horse girl. You can only find out what they don't want to be seen.
Now is our chance to get payback. For Chase.
Ooh. 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 Ooh.
If there's no one else,
I'm going. I'll do what I can.
Here we go. Wait. Yes.
fine, I'll fucking say it. What if Chase dies? If you don't shut your mouth.
Yes.
What are you on about, lad?
Holy shit, man.
Sorry, what happened?
That's, why? Even not talking about it won't make it go away, okay? These fucking babies.
If he dies, he'll be taken care of. That I can promise.
You say somebody's malfunctioning? Oh, I'm not malfunctioning. Who said who's malfunctioning? What are people malfunctioning about?
What the fuck even are you?
All I said was malfunctioning. I wish I could pull more women. Also, you're not malfunctioning just because you don't pull many men. Are you telling me I am not malfunctioning? I don't think I'm malfunctioning. I think I'm incredible. Give him more intelligence. Oh, they're not malfunctioning. Okay.
Rain is flooding our neighborhood. We need this water gone.
Shoot. Okay, we need a little bit more. Come on, 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 come on. Shoot. All right, we're gonna wake somebody up.
Ready to go do more work.
There we go. There we go. Ooh, that was close. Y'all got this, though. I mean, like, honestly, dating people is easy. Oh, crap. Okay, we need somebody to wake up. We need somebody. Okay, sweet. We got everyone on that one. This was just really important to me. I needed to win this. I needed to win that so badly. Okay, come on, people, rest up quicker, rest up quicker. Get home and rest, get home and rest. Dang it!
Waterboy, think you can handle this?
Is my name Waterboy? I mean, it's... yes.
Oh! What? Why is absorbing a water an option? Why was absorbing water an option? Ah! You made it worse, Waterboy. Okay, well we're gonna have to send one person on this, and there's no way she's succeeding on that. I was so dumb. I mean, I guess it makes sense. He doesn't absorb water.
What the fuck, man? We said less water, not more. The room's booked, yeah?
Yeah, this morning. We're all good. Like we don't have enough.
So the straight version of asexual? Wait, how would you be? What's the straight version? What? You're asexual? You can't be. What? What do you mean the straight version of asexual? How would that even work? How would you have any? How could you be straightly asexual? Then you're not what? What's the gay version of asexual? Oh, come on. Waterboy, you screwed me.
Okay, team. Good shift, all things considered.
I do not.
Hopefully with some good news.
Well, because chat, I only see the stuff popping up on the screen. I only see the things that you typed most recently. I don't see threads. So, yeah. Focus on me. There we go. Thank you for that, Bats. Yes. No. Need it for emergencies. Holy crap. Dude is... Ooh.
Damn.
I'm an emergency. I'm an emergency. Give me more attention. I need it.
You've got
Shh. Y'all find somebody eventually. Anyways.
Cheers, lad. Good looking out.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you for the stretch.
What's going on?
What's it look like?
Ugh.
This dumbass kicked that dumbass out the fucking door.
It did happen.
Okay.
You can occasionally pet me.
got
Good.
all the details
Chat.
clear, why?
Just give me $20.
Difference of opinion. I got heated, got in Golan's face. He'd every right to punt me through the wall.
Right. It's a door, and I doubt you were actually in his.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't give me $20. No.
What the fuck is going on?
Hey, welcome.
We basically took a board vote. That's why we're in the boardroom.
She shouldn't have done what she did. I think she should go, sir.
Hey!
Boss. Robert.
Thank you for the bits.
Who wants her to stay?
Just me.
Get licked.
But the team is more important than any one of us, so I won't stand in the way.
You could have led with that.
We heard about the suspension bullshit. It ain't enough, Robert. Not for what she did.
They got a
Everything has been
point.
building at risk, and for what?
They have
I
a
like the bitch,
point.
but she gotta go.
And by go, we mean cut. Just like you cut Coop.
Hey, what the heck? No, yo, thank you for the bits. Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
You've covered us already for far less. And why? To send a message to set a standard?
Shit. Okay, here's the thing, and I know pausing is cheating right now. Hey, what the heck? Thank you, Vanya, and thank you, Amber.
Play RimWorld or collab with Tabby Pack. I need to see it.
I don't know how I would collab with Tabby. Go tell Tabby to collab with me, Red, and see what happens. Okay. Amber, you won? Oh, congrats. Y'all, I am planning on changing the way winning wins, but we'll talk about it at the end of stream. But yes. What? What's up, Neeks? What's up, Neeks? Why are you saying Gene like that? You want a sub? Started a Gene Core vid? What? What? Wait, when? When? Congrats on the thing. Like, did we earlier? Oh, during the stream? Huh? Thank you. I'll have to check it out. Okay, here's the thing. She has messed up multiple times. She has gone against what we've said multiple times. She's put herself in danger and other people in danger multiple times. Oh, I didn't see. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for telling me. Like, as much as I care about her, Invisigal has not come back and apologized. She has not seeked, like, the ability. She hasn't done anything to change. Yeah, there comes a point, like, where you have to, a person needs a harsh break with reality.
Where's that talk now?
Look, I probably don't say this enough.
She's not trying to be better.
I'm proud of all of you.
We're forcing her to be better, and she's refusing.
A few months ago, you wouldn't have been in a room like this discussing the needs of the Z team, and if you did,
yeah,
there'd be a lot more than one broken door.
Flambe had one chance. Invisigal
I'm not putting all of that
had
risk for one
3 or
person who
4.
can't keep up. I've done my best to salvage things and work with
But,
her,
I mean,
but as you know, this isn't the first time Invisigal has put us at risk. But
thank you for the follow.
It'll be the last.
And the thing is, she can still come back. She could still improve herself and prove herself and try to rejoin the team.
And I'll let her know.
That is where my cutoff is. Like, she has the chance. Yes, Boku? Why'd you sing Gene? Thank you for the follow, Princess. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to the menagerie. She's out. I mean, she got herself almost killed.
Sorry, I can come back.
Oh, tell them I say hello as well.
Met you were in your underwear. Fitting, right?
I have it censored, don't you worry.
That I'd be in mine. I heard
Yeah.
everything. You don't have to double fire me, okay? I'm going.
Give me no choice.
Well, you gave me no choice. You fired yourself when you went after the pulse.
I tried my best. Really. And I think I tried the most with you. But it wasn't enough. I wasn't enough. Which is why...
Honestly, Butter?
This is on me. Okay, I failed you. And I hope one day you can forgive me for letting you down.
That is how I feel.
They're right. I don't deserve anyone's forgiveness. Anyone's help. Anyone's love.
Shut up, your stupid whiny...
I can never pay it.
I don't deserve anybody's love. Who said that?
For what I've already done to you.
Everyone deserves love.
Getting the astral pulse back would help, but I couldn't even do that.
This...
You don't owe anyone anything, okay? Least of all me.
I was there that night.
What are you saying?
Thank you for the hype train, y'all.
I never ran with crews. Always did my own thing, but my asthma was getting worse, and they had an augment that could increase my lung capacity. Only catch is I'd have to work for them, paying down for years.
Oh. I'm happy to have all of you here, genuinely. Thank y'all for being here. I'd rather romance Royd. Or like anyone else.
Then one day Shroud came to me and said I could have the whole deck cleared if I was able to do one thing. Place a bomb on the back of Mecha Man undetected.
No way. No way.
Good news, buddy. Now doesn't just want the astral pulse.
No way. What? We are Mecha Man. She did this to us in the past. She was the one who blew us up. Sorry, I just sneezed.
I quit the moment I placed it. I walked out before it even blew. My augments conveniently stopped working. So I signed up for the Phoenix program the next day.
So she was only there.
This gave me the chance to fuck your life up twice.
She didn't really have much of a choice, though.
Well, I forgive you. So there, will you fucking chill out now?
Yeah.
You can't fucking forgive me?
Yeah, I
You haven't
can.
even, like, processed what's going on.
Dude.
You did villain shit while you were a
Yeah.
villain. Does it change things that you directed at me? No, it doesn't. That's in the past.
No. Look, she legitimately at that point had no other option. She had this thing. She was told that the only way to be able to live a normal life was to place this thing. She was already a criminal. That validity, like at that point, I would forgive. I would 100% forgive. I mean, I'm alive now. I can hate her for all she did in the past, but like, she's, it's not in the past.
You're not the same person that was there that night. Neither am I.
Mm-hmm.
That's sweet, but all I wanted from this was for you to look at me the same way you look at Blazer. Even if it was just
As an HR violation? What do you mean?
enough.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Yes. You do.
No. She's a child, is what I'm saying. Like, she might be our same age, but she's emotionally a child. Really? Honey, it ain't time.
Courtney,
Come on. What are you trying to do? Trying to force your way back in with what? Offering yourself? No. Girl. Thank for that, Bats. God, I've seen that. I've seen people try that. You gotta have respect for yourself. Oh yeah, no, I get it. I understand why she did what she did.
Boys, don't stay up too late.
And how she's acting and all of this. I get it. She just... You gotta make the effort to work on yourself, right? And some people don't think they are worth it. Yeah. Track star. If he's gonna go out, he should get to go out as a hero. She doesn't know how to put the work into herself, and I understand that. When you are in that pit, when you feel like You don't deserve anything? Yeah. It can be hard to even think of how to work on yourself. I've been there. And that's what therapy is for, to try to give you a leg up to understand things.
I mean, I hope they all die.
But yeah, I'm better now.
I'm serious.
Thank you for the hydrate.
Dumbass walking into a
Jeez.
trap that fucking stupid should have the plug pulled right now. Just pillows over faces.
She tried a little bit, and she kept thinking that doing everything would make things work. But she tried to earn people. That's it.
All right. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I've been distracting you.
I'd appreciate it if you changed the fucking subject.
Oh well. Mwah.
Would you? Fuck. I know what's going on. Kid probably lost someone there. That's why he's been staring at that shit all night. Get him a drink on me.
This one's on me.
There we go. There we go. See? I am also glad I am who I am. I'm glad I am who I am now. Enjoy you. Thank you for the sub. I do really appreciate it.
Trackstar. That guy sucks. I was fast, but now I'm old. Get fucked.
Cheers, fellas, to the fucking dream.
Cheers.
5 minutes with the tightest ass in all of LA County.
Oh, wait, did they win?
Can you motorboat an ass?
Heck yeah.
Probably not, right? End up blowing air right up her butthole. What's up? You don't like asses?
Let it go.
The fuck's up with this guy?
Hey, I'm great at predicting things, and I can't believe he let that go.
Okay, now I don't know what he's talking about. Freckles, you might tell me what's going on.
Ha! Whoa! Excuse me? What?
I respect her. Blazer. Real fucking superhero. I know we're in a villain bar, but have some class, you know?
Whoa!
If you're gonna blow some fucker's brains out, non-slip mats are a must. Need some for the hideout. Feels silly calling it a hideout. Can you take care of him for me? Obviously, you two don't need an introduction.
With pleasure.
Oh!
Your dad. But there's also human nature. You can't stop evil. All you can do is control it.
Oh.
I believe him, boss. If he had something to say, he would have said it by now.
I thought you wanted revenge. This was your father's gun. Kept it in his locker, fully loaded. 6 shots. He couldn't have predicted I'd use it to kill him. The first bullet grazed his shoulder. I hadn't adjusted to the adrenaline spike.
Wow.
The second hit his upper chest. The third burst his heart. He was lying on the floor, eyes full of fear, when I put the fourth through his face. Bit of a waste to put the fifth through that idiot's skull, but I wanted to make sure it worked after all these years. Your father was the last person to touch this bullet. And now, There's a 16.5% chance it touches you next. Your invisible girlfriend stole my astral pulse to give it to you. Where the fuck is it? Mega Man. Heroes are the past. With the pulse, I'll control this city and restore balance.
Gross. Spit in his own face.
This is why I hate luck. Runs out.
If I had it, why'd I let you string me up like a fucking piñata? She didn't get the pulse.
You actually believe that? Show him. Invisibitch has the pulse. That I know. What I don't know is why she didn't give it to you. She played you too. Here I am thinking she's working with you, but she's fucking us both.
Yeah.
She didn't take it for you. She took it for herself.
Oh, because that's her name. That's the name that she chose. Her villain name.
She fooled me too.
Yeah. Who's this? Oh, hey. Y'all, I'll have to end at exactly 6, by the way, just a heads up, letting y'all know.
Blonde blazer. I fired the bartender, but I can still get you something to drink.
Yes, so,
No, thank you.
Invisigal used to work for Shroud.
And to what do I owe the pleasure?
He gave her an implant so that it would make her lungs work better, but then it quit working.
In 5 minutes, this bar will be surrounded by SDN agents, heroes, and whoever else you and your ring have pissed off recently, which happens to be every gang in Los Angeles.
Wow, this is intense.
Hey, Mom! She's fucking bluffing.
Okay, Ma.
Sorry about that. If they weren't shit, you wouldn't have cut them. You were saying?
I can see I'm outnumbered. That eventually I would fall. But by my read...
Why is Shroud obsessed with the Invisigal? Because Invisigal has something that he wants.
So all of you can leave now. Or half of you can die here.
Now that's a fucking superhero. Chills. Top notch.
Oh, wait, who's obsessed with Blonde Blazer?
Okay, we're out of here. Take your piss-soaked pants out the back, please. Don't want to tempt this tiger.
Oh, yeah.
Now's not our time, Blazer. But it's coming sooner than you think. Oh. And by my calculations, it was closer to 32%. But half sounds better.
How'd you find me?
I tracked your phone. Sorry.
I'll never forgive you.
Man's got jokes, even on the verge of death.
Don't worry. I've got you.
Thank you for the hydrate.
She cut you pretty bad. I'm sure he's right about Invisigal.
Maybe.
Yeah. I saw the footage.
What is her play? Why wouldn't she tell you if she has it?
Because we kicked her off the
Don't
team.
understand what she would want it for unless she's
I
trying
trust
to keep
her.
you out of the suit.
I trust her. I do, surprisingly.
What matters is I trust her.
I think you're more optimistic than I am.
Is he respectable? I mean,
Probably right.
that is why he's a good villain, because he's pretty easy to convince. he convinced people.
A few weeks, then I'll be.
There's enough justification behind his actions, probably, but he's killed a lot of people. And is there any moral justification for ever killing people?
Pain's constant. It's easier to get used to.
Mm.
That goes for physical and emotional. Ow. Really is nice up here. Thank you.
You can't value lives against others.
Don't remember if I've thanked you before, but
About 50 times. You were muttering it the whole flight.
then I take it back.
You should know. I was
Hopefully.
going to
We'll see
take
what
you to the
Invisigal got.
Actual Hollywood sign. Not as sturdy as you.
Hello. Interesting. Acid dick. Mm-hmm.
You're not leaving me here again.
Yeah, I can't believe she did that last time, by the way. That was insane. That she just left us up on the sign. Left me up on the sign. Why would she leave me up on the sign? And lovelies. That is where we're gonna leave that game. Very, very, very good game. I'm loving it so far, but we're gonna have a little wind down here, okay? I thought it was very impressive. The dramatic music. Fine, I'll show the stats. Here, we'll go back. You guys ready? You want to see the stats? Alright, 32% players agreed to cut Invisigal. 72 players forgave Invisigal. I can't believe so many people leaned into that kiss. That kiss felt so bad. That checks out. 97% of players rescued Golem, obviously. 80% of players chose to go all out against the Red Ring, as you should. I did so bad. You performed better than 10% of players in today's shift. Do you see how bad I did? How bad I did? I was one of the worst players of that shift. Wow. I was Iron Mouse levels there. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I know, but like still, like if somebody were to kiss me like that, I don't know. It's just, it feels so gross of like, for them to come out of nowhere and be like, I turned invisible, I snuck up and I kissed. Yeah, the romance options shock. Maybe that's the point though. Maybe that's the point. Yeah. I might play this tomorrow, 50-50 shot. What are we thinking? Should we finish off the game tomorrow? I guess I think there's only one last episode, right? Yeah, tomorrow is Wednesday. Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, no, see, it would have been one thing if, like, she had done this any other time. But she did this right when we're like, oh, hey, you have to leave. But I forgive you for, you know, trying to kill me. No! Honey! I've finished like 3 games while streaming since July. Y'all, okay, we will play it tomorrow. I will, but like, come on. Also, if you haven't followed the Twitter yet, or the X.com, that is where I will post any last-minute updates if there's ever like a last-minute stream thing. So, yeah. If you haven't followed the Twitter, you should. And major things I'll put in the Discord itself, but like minor things I'll usually just put on Twitter. Exactly. Let me just get there and kiss one more. It was just gross. Gross. Okay, lovelies. We're going to see if we can find somebody to raid out to. Maybe. Possibly. I mean, we only stream, for like... Thank you, Vanya. I really appreciate that. We only stream for about 2 hours anyways. So if it's going to be about an hour and a half to finish that one off, then, it wouldn't be too bad. Yes. And thank you all for being here. I do really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to try to do a fun little video tonight. And then I need to do something. Should we do... Okay, y'all. This is just a thing real quick. We're at 66 viewers right now, right? Hello, lovely 66 people. And some of these streams we've been doing, like hitting 70s occasionally or going to the 80s. 69? Oh, sick. But we've been pretty steady. Oh, we were at 104 for a little while. That's crazy. We're pretty steady at around 70-something to 60. Do y'all want to do a partner push? Because, like, we only need maybe 5 to 10 viewers. We'll do that last little harumph. I'll look into it a little bit, see what we need to do for it, but we might start doing a little partner pushy, okay? Cause yeah, I mean, this stream we were at 60 some. Yeah, this morning stream 55. Before that 65, 60, 70, 58. Like this seems like the time, right? A partner push is when you're trying to make it to. You have to have 75 average viewers for 6 days. If we can get up to that number, then we can get a higher status on Twitch. I get a badge, and it means I look so much better to sponsors. The second I get that partnership badge, immediately it goes like that, and it's so much easier for me to get sponsorships, and I can get higher valued sponsorships as well. So yeah, I think we're right on the edge. I kind of wanted to see if I could do it without it, but it's fine. Okay, I need to raid out. I have therapy that I need to go to because I had to reschedule for this week, and I have a Japanese lesson afterwards. So that'll be fun. Let's see who we can raid into. My Oshi is green. Yomi is doing Undertale. I don't know, we could raid into Yomi. Have you all seen Yomi before? Oh, I guess actually Mara Mizu is doing Water Park Sim. And y'all like Water Park Sim, right? We're gonna raid into Mara Mizu, okay? Y'all be amazing. Y'all be good. Y'all be beautiful. And we'll raid into Mara Mizu. Thank you for getting that raid message. If you are subbed, you can copy the second one. If you are not subbed, you can copy the first one. Get it? Get it, y'all? 5. And we'll see you on tomorrow with more dispatch. I really appreciate y'all coming by. Oh, new thing with wins. I'm going to make a winner board so that we can have a list of who wins on stream, because I can't afford to keep gifting subs. Plus, if people win again, there's nothing special for winning. So, I'll be marking how many times people win the gamble, and I will be marking when they win. So that'll be shown off on stream, like the weekly winners, the monthly winners, and all-time winners. So cool. That's going to be happening. Get ready for that. All right. Y'all be lovely. I'll see y'all next time. I appreciate y'all. Bye-bye. Oh, and Moon, I'll check out the thing later. Thank you. Bye.